Very good morning. This is Dr. M. Pachinan, Associate Professor, Department of ECE, Vignan Foundation for Science, Technology and Research, deemed to University, PFTR, Andhra Pradesh, India. Today I am going to deliver the lectures about Biot-Savart laws. So last lectures I delivered about the magnetostatic field introductions. We discussed about what is in the magnetostatic field, what is in the electrostatic field, what are the losses will be justify the electrostatic field and the magnetostatic field. Now what is in the basic fundamental about the magnetostatic field, what is in the charge, what is the electromagnetic waves, charge, and also what are the field quantities of the electrostatic field and magnetostatic field. And later we discussed about the application of the magnetostatic field. Now today we are going to discuss about the Biot-Savart laws. If electrostatic field, we can use the Coulomb's law. Here magnetostatic field we are going to use for Biot-Savart laws. For any current distribution, generally we can call this for any current distribution, with the help of this Biot-Savart law, we can find out the magnetic field intensity H. Just a look out over there, I am given the statement about the Biot-Savart laws. Here the Biot-Savart laws state that the differential magnetic field intensity, the differential magnetic field intensity DH, we can call this here DH. The differential magnetic field intensity DH produced at a point P, position, because what we are going to do that here, we can find out the magnetic field intensity at point P somewhere. So I am a conductor, I am a line conductor, I have to measure this point or this point or this point anywhere. Look at over there, this is a, for example I am going to use this is on, for example this is on conductor. So line current, we have to measure the magnetic field intensity at point P. So we have to, at point P, we have to measure what is meant by H. So like that we can measure at point P, position point P, what is meant by magnetic field intensity H. So like that we can measure the point P, what is meant by magnetic field intensity H. So we have to calculate the magnetic field intensity at position anywhere, any angle, any direction. We have to justify, we have to calculate the magnetic field intensity H. That's the main motto we are going to go for Biot-Savart laws. With the help of the Biot-Savart law, we have to calculate the magnetic field intensity H at position anywhere in and surrounding of the conducting medium. So here I am going to give the statement once again. Here I am going to give the diagram over here. I am going to take one line conductor. This is what I am given here, line conductor. So we can, differential length of the conductor is called, we can consider DL. So current is moving in this conductor. We have to measure the magnetic field intensity at point P. We have to measure the magnetic field intensity at point P. So with the distance R, sine of the angle is alpha, sine of the angle alpha. So this is a one line conductor. The differential length is a dl element. dl. This is a differential of the dl. dl. The current is moving in the differential length element, different line current. We have to measure the magnetic field intensity P at position P. So the differential magnetic field intensity dH, the differential magnetic field intensity dH with the distance r. With the distance r. Once again, I am going to take the diagram. We can draw the differential line. The current is moving along the conductor. The length of the conductor we can call it dl. We have to measure the dH, differential magnetic intensity at point P. This point we can use. This point we can use at distance r. At the distance r, the angle between the point P and the distance r, we can get sine of the angle alpha. We have to measure the differential magnetic intensity dH at position P. Your wish, you can measure the point here or here or here or here. Here I am going to give you notations. This is called as a round dot, mean this outward current is moving out. The current is moving out. We can call it a current put. The current is moving inwards. The current is moving inwards. The current is moving inwards. The moving inwards. Inwards. We can call it inward. That's outwards. So I am taking one differential length of the conductor. Current is moving in that differential line I. We have to measure the differential magnetic intensity dH at point P at the distance of r. The angle between this point and the element we can call the sine of the angle alpha. Here only there is only given the statement. It states that the differential magnetic intensity dH, the differential magnetic intensity dH produced at point P, produced at point P, this point, the differential current element ideal. The differential current element, this is called current is moving in the element, this differential ideal, the differential current element ideal is proportional to the product of ideal, is proportional because this is proportional to the product of the ideal, and the sine of the angle alpha, sine of the angle alpha between the elements, line joining B, between the elements alpha and the line joining P to the elements, and is inversely proportional to the square of the distance, inversely proportional to the square of the distance r between P and the elements, between P and the elements. This is what I have written the expression. Here what I have written here, dH is equal to, so we can call this a directly proportional ideal into sine alpha by r squared. Sine alpha by r squared. dH is equal to ideal sine alpha by r squared. Here we can use for K is a constant. So K is a proportionality. K is equal to 1 by 4 pi. We can use the mu actually because current mean permeability should come. Here I am using K is equal to 1 by 4 pi, constant proportionality. So the above equation we can write dH is equal to ideal sine alpha by 4 by r squared because K is equal to 1 by 4 pi. So finally we can write dH, this is called dH is equal to ideal sine alpha by 4 by r squared. This is called scalar form. This is called scalar. This is called scalar form, magnitude. In vector form, we can write in vector form dh vector in vector form dh vector ideal into ar by 4 by r square. Ideal into ar by 4 by r square. Here ar is a, we can call it a unit vector. ar is a unit vector. Ar vector we can write r vector divided by magnitude of r. This is unity 1. This is unity value is 1. Already studied in the unit number 1. This is a unit vector. Vector along with magnitude, same direction, we can call as a unit vector ar vector. This is called ar vector, unit vector ar vector. So ar vector ideal into ar by 4 by r square, because the alpha is the angle between these elements. Because we can call this is called as a ar vectors, because that ar unit vector will be, because current is moving, the magnetic field will be like this. According to right hand thumb rule, I already told. So this is called ar vector, we can call this ar vector. So this magnetic field component will be moving. So ar vector is equal to r vector divided by magnitude r. So we can write ideal into r vector divided by 4 by r and r squared is there, here r will be there, r cube. Ideal into r vector divided by 4 by r cubes. So ideal into r vector divided by 4 by r cube. This is a vector. This is called magnitude. This is called magnitudes. So what did you understand from this Biot-Savart law? We have to calculate the dh vector. We have to calculate the dh vector at distance r at position point P from the differential line current. Differential line current ideal. We have to calculate the magnetic field intensity, differential magnetic field intensity at point P. So this will be very helpful to for any transmission. For example, we are going to take for antennas. The antenna will be radiated. The radiation signal we don't know how much will be far, will be traveled. So I am just assume this is I am one of the transmitting elements. So I am radiating. So we can measure this point or this point or this point. What is the magnetic field intensity at point B? This point or this point or this point. So with the help of this Biot-Savart law, we can estimate, we can analyze what is the magnetic field intensity at point P. Now, already told the magnetic field intensity. Here how can the current is moving? How can calculate the current along the line conductor? Because I told here this is called ideal elements, because this current is moving. Current is moving the differential element dl. So we can, this is called position point P. So this is we can call as a inward current. So differential magnetic field intensity dh. The angle is alpha, sine of the angle alpha. So the distance is r. So finally what's the expression we got? dh vector. So ideal into r vector divided by 4 by r cube. This is called Biot-Savart law statement. This is a Biot-Savart law statements. Ideal into r vector divided by 4 by r cubes. R by r vector we can call this a ar vector unit vectors. Here I told this is called the magnetic field intensity revolving around the conductor. It's a dh. We can call this is we can call this a magnetic field intensity will be moving. Here also moving, will be moving far away also. Any conducting elements, there is a current is moving, along that will be dh will be there. What is according to right hand thumb rule? What is right hand thumb rule saying? You can look at over there. This is a one conductor, line conductor. Current is moving this side. We can keep our hand. The thumb direction will be current is moving, and also this is finger will be rotating. This is a direction of moving the magnetic field intensity. Okay, rotation direction will be indicated as a magnetic field intensity dh. So dh is moving this side. The current is moving this sides. So we can say right hand thumb rule and the screw law. Screw also will be rotating this side. So we can, screw is moving this side, current is moving this sides. So current is moving this sides, the magnetic field intensity moving this sides, will be revolving around the conductors. We can say this is called as a thumb rule, this is called screw law. Here clearly I mentioned over here, if the point of thumb rule in the direction of current. Okay, point number 1, this is a point number 1, we can call as a, this is we can call point number 1, it will be called as a moving this point is the movement of current directions. Point number 2, we can call as a curl of your finger, already told. The unit number 2, magnetostatic field, we can use del cross E or del cross H, we can use cross means curl. Curl will come because the magnetic field intensity will be around the conductor, it's a curl. So we can call it as a DH. Third, we can call it as, this is called the direction of the magnetic field lines, how the magnetic lines will be moving around the conductor, because any conducting medium, this will be moving around the conductors, field line moving around the conductor, current is moving this side, means the magnetic field lines will be moving around the conductors. This we can say how that magnetic field intensity, how the current is moving, how the magnetic field intensity will occur in the line currents. So this is called thumb rule, this is called, we can call it screw rule. Here also I am mentioning, already told, the magnetic field intensity will be out dot, we can put the dot, mean the magnetic field will be move out. You can see the image, just imagine you can, current is moving out from the screen. Here current is moving inside, current is moving insides. Parallelly I am explaining here also how can keep our thumb. So current is moving, the magnetic field will be moving this side. This way easily we can understand. We can know how the basic property of the magnetic field intensity in the line current. Now I am going to move based on the line current. I am going to take the surface current and the volume current. So far I thought only line current of the differential magnetic field intensity. We can go the surface current and the volume current. Here I taken only for, so far I taken only line current, I taken only, this called line current, current is moving, that is the differential element ideal. Likewise I am going to take one surface, the surface current density K, the area is called, I am going to take this surface, KDS, surface current density, line current density, here surface current density. Like that I am going to take one volume, in that volume I am going to take small volume here, volume current density JV. So the same analysis with the help of the Biot-Savart law, we can estimate the magnetic field intensity at point P of the line, of the volume and the surface. So the basic expression of the magnetic field intensity of the line, surface and volume, we can take with the help of the Biot-Savart law, we can write DH vector, we can vector form. So IDL into R vector divided by 4 by R cube, this is called Biot-Savart law line current. So here we can call, what is the R? That's the AR vector is a unit vector, AR vector is equal to R vector divided by magnitude of R. So we can say DH vector equal to IDL into AR vector divided by 4 by R squared. This is what we derived the previous one. Now here ideal we can equal to surface equal to charge volume, charge densities, line, surface and volume. So here I am using differential magnetic field intensity. If you take integration, H vector will come. If you take integration of this one, we can take H is equal to ideal and ER by 4 by R square line current. If we take it, this is a differentiation. If we take integration, we will get the H magnetic intensity. This is a differential magnetic intensity. This called, we can call this a magnetic intensity. So integration of line, surface and then volume. Ideal and ER by 4 by R square. This is a unit vector. ADS and ER by 4 by R square. It's called surface vector. So we can call surface current. We can call this the next one. H is equal to JdV and ER by 4 by R square. It's called volume currents. We can represent the magnetic intensity of the both line, surface and then volumes. Now I am going to take an example. I am going to take an example of the one filamentary conductor. Now I am going to take the one filamentary conductor with finite length. Finite length A to B length will be there. We have to calculate the magnetic field intensity. H. Now we are going to derive the magnetic field intensity H at point P with help of the one filamentary conductor, finite length A to B. This is what I given here, the field at point P due to straight filamentary conductors. Field at point P due to straight filamentary conductors. This is what I given the diagram also. With help of the bias Savart laws, this is what DH vector. With help of the bias Savart DH vector equal to ideal into R vector divided by 4 by R cube. This is called bias Savart law. With help of this bias Savart law, using this filamentary conductor, we can calculate the, going for integration, we will get the magnetic field intensity H. Now I am going to use the one filamentary conductor, length will be approximately, we can call this AB, finite element conductor. The current is flow from A to B. The angle also given. Before going for this one, first we can draw the diagram properly. We can know the idea about how to measure the magnetic field intensity at point P. Now I am going to take one. I am going to keep it one filamentary conductor at Z directions. I am going to keep it one filamentary conductor. This is one filamentary conductor. I am going to take. So the element height A to B. So this one filamentary conductor, height A to B, finite element conductor. We have to measure the magnetic field intensity H at point P. This is a point P. Magnetic field intensity H. We have to measure at point P. We have to measure. This is what we want. We want to find out the magnetic field intensity at point P. I kept one finite filamentary conductor along Z directions. Not x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0. Only I am going to kept only Z directions. So the current is moving. Here. So the center of this element we can connect to the distance point P. The both edge we can connect at point P. The angles we can call as alpha. This angle we can call as alpha 1. This angle we can call as alpha 2. The distance between this filamentary conductor at point P we can call as the distance is R. This is we can call as origin. we kept our filamentary conductor along Z directions. The position point over here, we have to find out the H. We have to find out the H, magnetic field intensity H you have to find out. So this point we can call as a, we can call at this point, we can call as a Z. This point we can call as a 0, 0, Z, we can call along the Z directions. So the current is moving, so ideal element, this point is called ideal line current. This point is ideal points, the center of the conductor. Now we have to calculate the magnetic field intensity at point P. And also between this origin to position point B, the distance we can call as a rho. This distance we can call as a R. This distance we can call as a Z. And also we can call as the angle is alpha. This angle is called alpha 1. This angle is called alpha 2. Now the question is, we have to find out the what's the magnetic field intensity at point P. Your wish, you can take here or here or here or here or here, your wish. We can take anywhere. But I kept one filamentary conductor here. Whenever you are going to apply some voltage, what happens? The current will be moving. What happens? It will be the magnetic field intensity will be occur that nearby area somewhere. We have to measure the what's the magnetic field intensity at this point, at this point, these points. We can properly connect. We can make the proper angle. We can find out the H with the help of the Biot-Savart laws. So the first step, what you are going to do that? I am going to take first step. What's up? By using Biot-Savart law, Biot-Savart laws, what's the Biot-Savart law statement? DH vector equal to ideal into R vector divided by 4 by R cube. 4 by R cube. Ideal into R by 4 by R cube. This is a Biot-Savart laws. Now we have to find what's the DL, what's R. DL and R, substitute over here, we will get the DH. We can write this is equation number 1. Now write this is equation number 1. Now I am going to derive the magnetic field intensity H by using Biot-Savart laws. With the help of the Biot-Savart law, we can derive by using Biot-Savart laws. We can write DH vector is equal to ideal into R vector divided by 4 by R squared, R cube, 4 by R cube, because unit vector is equal to R by magnitude R, ideal into R by 4 by R cube. If you know the DL value and R, we can use this equation number 1. This is equation number 1. Ideal into R by 4 by R cube. Now you have to know what is the DL value, what is the R vector value. You have to find out. You have to substitute over this vector. This is a magnitude here. From figure, we can write from figure what's a DL? DL vector. So DL vector we kept it along Z directions. So DZ and AZ vectors. DL equal to DZ and AZ vector. We kept our conductor along Z direction. DL equal to DZ and AZ vector. You have to include the vector direction of the conductor because we kept our conductor along Z direction. DZ and AZ vector along unit vectors. Now we can write what is r value. This is the distance r. So we can write this. We can write this value z a z vector plus r into rho a rho vector we can write. So what is it here? Z and a z vectors. So what is height of this one? Z along a z vector direction. The distance is r equal to rho into a rho vectors. Rho into a rho vectors. Now what is r? R vector r equal to we can write rho into a rho vector minus z into a z vector. This is called r vector. This is called r vector. So the distance r. Now what we got? R vector equal to rho into a rho vector minus z into a z vectors. Substitute in equation number 1. So you get the therefore dh I, what's the dl? dz and az vector. What is the r vector value? We can write into rho into a rho vector minus z into az vector divided by 4 by r cubes. 4 by r cube. So we can write. So I dl is the dz and az vector. So we can write multiplication of what is the r vector value is rho into a rho vector minus z and az vectors. Now we have to simplify this one. Now we have to simplify this one. So what is written here? So I dz az vector minus, so we multiplication of with rho into a rho vector minus z into az vectors divided by 4 by r cube. We can keep it. Now I have to simplify. Just you have to multiply inside. What happened now? We have to multiply inside. So what happened? Multiply inside. I dz a I, here we can put I rho vector, rho into I. We can write rho into I dz az vector into a rho vector. Here minus, we can write I z dz az vector into az vector will come. Here we have to know, we have to simplify these ones. Az and a rho vector, az and az vector. What happened these ones? Here according to one thumb rule will be there here. If you multiply of the vector, multiplication of the two vector, another vector will come. I am going to a rho, a pi, a z vectors. We can multiply. What happened now? We are going to multiply this one, this will come. If you multiply this one, this will come. If you multiply a rho into a pi mean a z will come, a z a rho mean a pi will come. If you multiply of the two vector, third vector will come. We can apply over here a z and a rho mean a pi should come. So this we can say a pi vector. If you multiply az into a rho mean a pi will come, a pi vector will come. If you multiply same vector, will be cancelled. This will be cancelled. If you multiply same vector, will be cancels. So finally we'll get the rho I. So we can write. So finally this expression we can write dh vector equal to this above things we can simplify I rho a pi dz divided by 4 by r cube. 4 by r cube. This is what we got. So differential magnetic field intensity dz. This is equation number 2. So far we got dz equal to I rho a pi vector dz by 4 by r cubes. Now again we have to go for simplify the equation. We have to take for integration of this one. We will get the magnetic field intensity H. Again we have to simplify. So one more parameter we have to analyze. So what we got so far, I is a current, rho is a distance, a pi vector will be there because we are going to multiply the a rho, az, a rho will mean a pi will come, and then we kept our filament conductor along z direction dz in the 4 by r cube. Now again we have to apply, we have to find out the what's the magnitude of this one, r cube we have to find out, and also we can find out the dz values and the rho value you have to substitute over there. We'll go for integration. We'll go for integration. We'll get the magnetic field intensity H. Again telling, I taken one filamentary conductor. I kept a filamentary conductor along z directions. The finite length AB. The angle is alpha. Center of the element is alpha. Connected to the position point P. On the both edge of the conductor A and B connected to the position point P. The angle we can call as alpha 1, alpha 2. From the origin to position point we can call this a rho. From the origin to the element, center element, we can distance call is Z. From this point to center element to the position point we can call this a R. With help of the bias or at last we can apply that. So far we got the difference in magnetic field intensity dH. I rho into a pi vector dz by 4 by r cubes. This is equation number 2. So far I derived equation number 1 and equation number 2. From equation number 2 again we are going to simplify. We will get the answer of H, magnetic field intensity H. Now we have to derive the already written here. So I dz az into rho into a rho minus z into az vector. You have to multiply rho I dz az into az vector minus, so minus this minus I into, so dz az into here az into az vectors. Now you have to find out the value of this one, az into az vector. So az into arrow vector, az into arrow vector, az into arrow vector. Here az into az vector. There is a rule, we are multiplying two vector. There is a rule a rho, a pi, az. If you multiply two vector, third vector will come. If you multiply this one, third vector will come. If you multiply a rho, a pi mean az vector will come. If you multiply az, a rho mean a pi vector will come. If you multiply same vector, it will be cancelled. So with the help of this one we have to apply here. Here rho I dz, az into a rho mean a pi vector will come. This will be a pi vector, and the minus I dz, az into az, same vector I told, same vector will be cancelled. So ultimately this will be cancelled. So finally we will get this, only these values. So you can substitute over here. So finally get dH vector equal to I dz az into rho a rho minus z az vector. This we can write rho I rho dz. This we can call as a pi vector divided by 4 pi r cube. So again I am writing here for understandable. So what we got it? dH vector equal to I rho dz a pi vector divided by 4 by r cube. This is equation number 2. So far we got it equation number 1 and equation number 2. With the help of equation number 2, if we go for integration of this one, we will get the magnetic intensity H at point P. Now from equation number 2, we have to find out the dz value. From equation number 2, we have to find out the dz value, and then this r cube value you substitute over there. After integration, you will get the magnetic field intensity H. Now what is the dz value? You have to find out. This dz you have to find out. So now you have to go for trigonometries. We have to go for this one, this trigonometries. So this is angle already, this is, so point P, this point. So this is a point B, this called, we can call it H vector. Okay, so this is for Z, this is called R, this is called rho. So we have to find out this point, okay, this point here, this point, this is distance R, this is called distance rho, this is origin. So we can go for this angle we can call this alpha, this alpha. So we can write tan alpha by rho by Z, opposite by adjacent side. So we can write Z equal to rho by 1 by tan alpha. So we get Z is equal to rho cot alpha. If we are taking differentiation, minus rho cosecant square alpha and d alpha. D is equal to rho cosecant square alpha into d alpha. Cosecant square alpha into d alpha. We will get d is equal to minus rho cot alpha means minus rho cosecant square alpha and d alpha. We got the dz. We got the dz values. Now we got the dz. Later we go, what is the value of r cube? We have to find out the r cube value, have to find out. Before going for r cube, now we got the dz value. dz is equal to minus rho cosecant square alpha d alpha. Now we have to go for r value. This value r cube we have to find out. Substitute over there, we will get that magnetic field intensity H. Now we can, how can go for? So we can write r squared equal to rho squared plus z squared. So we can go for s squared plus y squared is equal to z squared. So we can write, so what is z value we can know. So what is z value we can already, we derived previous one. So rho squared, so we can write, so rho squared, we can z mean rho cot alpha. So rho squared cot squared alpha. So rho squared into 1 plus cot squared alpha. So we can write rho squared 1 plus cos squared alpha by sin squared alpha. Now we can go for rho squared sin squared alpha plus cos squared alpha divided by sin squared alpha. So we can write rho squared is equal to 1 by sin squared alpha. So we can write cosecant squared alpha. So we can write cosecant squared alpha. This is called r squared. So we can write r is equal to rho into cosecant alpha. We can write r is equal to rho cosecant alpha. We can write r is equal to rho cosecant alpha. So r squared is equal to rho squared cosecant squared alpha. R is equal to rho cosecant alpha. Now you have to substitute the dz value and then r value. R mean here rho cosecant alpha. R cube mean is called rho cube cosecant squared cosecant cube alpha. Substitute over the equation number 2. We can simplify the answer. Finally get the magnetic field intensity H. Now we got it. dz equal to minus rho cosecant squared alpha d alpha. R is equal to rho cosecant alpha Now to substitute in equation number 2, this we can write equation number 3. Substitute equation number 3 in 2. So you will get the dh vector. You get the dh vector. We can write I rho. We can, what's the dz? Dz equal to minus rho cosecant squared alpha into d alpha into a pi vector divided by 4 pi r cube. R mean here rho cube cosecant cube alpha. So this is called dh vector. Now we have to go for integration of this one. We will get the h vector. I am going to take integration of this one. H vector equal to integration. So I told the finite element conductor with the distance a to b, the angle between the alpha 1 to alpha 2. So we can write alpha mean alpha is equal to alpha 1. Here alpha is equal to alpha 2. This is the a to b distance. So we can go for I rho minus rho cosecant squared alpha into d alpha into a pi vector divided by 4 pi rho cube cosecant cube alpha. So we will get the rho into rho square will come. So this will be, here will be cancelled. So this will be cancelled. So we will get the outsides. So I am going to use for, so we will get the h vector equal to, so minus I by 4 by, get outside, integration of alpha 1 to alpha 2, alpha 1 to alpha 2. So we can write, so I by 4 by, so we can write rho into rho squared. Here rho cube will be there. So I am going to take in for 1 by 4 by rho. We can get outside also 1 by 4 by rho. So here will be there, will be cancelled. So integration of, we can write d alpha into a pi divided by cosecant alpha. We can write cosecant alpha. Now we can write after that integration minus I by 4 by rho 1 by cosecant, it's a sin alpha. So we can write alpha 1 to alpha 2. So we can write sin alpha into d alpha into a pi vector. So we can write sin mean minus cos here. So I by 4 by rho into cos alpha 2 minus cos alpha 1 into a pi vectors. So this is called h vectors. So after simplifications, we will get the h vectors. We will get it h vector equal to I by 4 by rho cos alpha 2 minus cos alpha 1 and a pi vectors. This is a magnetic field intensity h of the filamentary conductor with a distance r. Now I am going to use this, what we got it. Now we have to find out the two cases will be there. So far what I did, so we got the, with the help of the bias orbital dh, with the help of the bias orbital dh, so ideal into r vector divided by 4 by r cube. I substituted all the parameters. Finally we got the dh. After integration of the dh, we got the h vector with the angle of alpha 1 to alpha 2. Substitute over here, I got it I by 4 by rho cos alpha 2 minus cos alpha 1 into a pi vector. This is what we got the one filamentary conductor, finite filamentary conductor. Now I am going to use, this is for finite filamentary conductor. Finite filamentary conductors, length between the finite length mean A to B. Now I am going to take for another infinite infinite conductor. What's the value of h? And also we can go for semi finite conductor. What's the value of h? Now I am going to take for two cases. Now I am going to take for two cases, case number 1 and then case number 2. So far we got the magnetic field intensity H at finite filamentary conductor A to B. H is equal to I by 4 by rho cos alpha 2 minus cos alpha 1 A pi vectors. Now I am going to take two cases. I am going to take for two cases. Case number 1, case 1. For I am going to use case number 1. So semi-finite case, semi-finite conductor I am going to take. The angle we can call alpha 1 is equal to 90 degree and alpha 2 is equal to 0 degree. I am going to take. So in this one substitute over there. H is equal to substitute over the equation. This is equation number 3 we can define. Equation number 3 is here final expression of the magnetic field intensity H for finite filamentary conductor. Now I am going to go for semi-finite conductor. So H vector equal to I by 4 by rho into A pi vector. Substitute alpha 1 alpha 2 we will get that one A pi vector. Now we will go for case number 2. Case 2 also. For infinite line, so alpha 1 is equal to 190 degree and alpha 2 is equal to 0 degree. Substitute over there. So H vector we can write I by 2 by rho into A pi vectors. So this what we got it for case number 1 and case number 2. This is for, we can call as a finite filamentary conductor, semi cases. This is called infinite line conductors. For magnetic field intensity H, semi case and then infinite case. So far I thought about how can calculate the magnetic field intensity H at point P with the distance R by using some finite filamentary conductor A to B with the angle of alpha 1 and alpha 2 with the distance R. Thank you so much.